We are now joined live via Zoom by Gidi Grinstein, former peace negotiator under former Prime Minister Ehud Barak. Good evening, and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
So Hamas says Israel isn't adding new conditions. If Israel doesn't add new conditions, then a deal is possible. Can we count on this? Again, there's hope, but as we've just seen, so many things seem hopeful and then not hopeful. How do we know this time it may be real?
I think that this time everybody's interest is to get a deal. Hamas needs a deal to consolidate its power in Gaza. It sounds like from your correspondent that part of the deal is that Hamas will be removed from power, but we have to remember that Hamas is a movement that has four components. They have the social infrastructure, they deliver welfare and education services, they have the military wing, they have the political wing, and they have an economic structure. So the fact that Hamas is no longer in power, no longer governing Gaza, still doesn't mean that Hamas is eliminated from Gaza. And unless the Israeli government will be willing to introduce an upgraded and reformed Palestinian Authority in Gaza, they will stay with the conundrum of Hamas in Gaza. That being said, there are clear interests to move to a deal on our side, on the Egyptian side. Hamas, obviously Qatar, other people involved, the UAE, other entities involved, of course, the United States. And hopefully, we'll see a deal coming soon.
And, with that said, also wiggle room about how many hostages, there's reports that they're still playing games, saying that they're not going to be willing to release the numbers, that negotiators are expecting. So even if they are this close, what would it take to see our hostages home by the new year or by January 20th when Trump gets inaugurated?
Of course, it will take a deal. But I do want to say, sadly, tragically, I would be very, very surprised if Hamas knows where all the hostages are, alive or dead. So I think we should have an expectation that the hostage situation will be dramatically decreased with the release of the hostages, perhaps with the return of some bodies. I would be very surprised if all of them could be accounted for at this phase. This is part of the tragedy of this war.
Yeah. All right, Gidi, we'll be back with you in a few minutes.